last live is continuing to hop on this one. So this is some potent stuff. Let's just jump right into it. So I'm going to start over. So if you were on my last live, it's okay. You're just going to get around two. It's just sometimes we need to hear things multiple times anyway. So God is trying to bless you, but you are pouring from an empty cup. What do I mean by that? Sometimes, especially around this time of year, a lot of people are starting to reach out, right? Like, I need rides, I need money, I need help with something, I need your time, right? And you may be the person that everybody knows that they can go to for several different things for free, okay? For free, for complete free. And what ends up happening is you are actually being the one that's being depleted, but they don't know and they don't care. So let me explain. You're like, no, well, they're my family. No, I got to be there for them. No, I got to hold them down. No, I understand that, but it gets to a point where you start looking around at your world, right? And it seems like everybody else is like getting the job promotion, getting more, clients for their business, getting the ring, having the baby, all these different blessings, right? Like whatever you perceive as a blessing, you're like, everybody's getting it but me, right? But when you really like look at your behavior, God is saying you need to pour into yourself instead of saying yes to everybody. And it's kind of twisted, and let me explain, because this is going to really unlock a lot of things for some people. So you would think that if you are pouring into people, that they're automatically going to pour right back into you, right? Like, it's like the golden rule, right? Like, treat people how you want to be treated, right? And you would think that everybody's kind of living by that, or it would just be obvious, or people would just want to, right? That's not how it works. And I wish that somebody would have told me this 10, 15 years ago. So that's why I really hope that you are going to watch to the end on this, because it's super important for you to get it early on. So that way you're not having to backtrack and do inner work and journal about it and go to a therapist about it and all this stuff. So my voice is kind of cracky. So what ends up happening is you feel obligated, right? You feel obligated to be the one to say yes and be there and pick someone up at 3 a.m. from the airport and give your last dollar and give your last. And yes, you do want to do those things if that's truly who you are. And we all should be givers, right? In some capacity. But it does get to a point where sometimes I feel like some people don't know that they're now on the other side, and it's almost at the point of no return. And what happens is you turn into like a permanent complainer, a permanent woe is me, a permanent self-sabotager, right? Like, well, everything else happens for everybody else really well, but then for me, it just doesn't. Like, that's just how my life goes. It's how it's always been. It just is what it is. I'm just supposed to give to everybody else. And what God wants you to hear from this, and I don't care what background you have with God, okay? I don't care if the Most High, divine source, the one, consciousness, the all-knowing, the almighty, whoever you want to reference, whatever term you want to reference, I say God, is that he's trying to pour into you, but it's almost like when he's trying to pour into your cup, you're just giving, like immediately depleting it out. And sometimes you're depleting it out so quickly that you're even breaking off pieces of the cup at the top, and like even like lowering the height of your cup, because you're just like breaking off pieces and now giving it to people, right? So God is saying, look, like, especially during this season, we're going into a new year. It is a perfect time to pour into yourself. It is okay to say no. If you know that you really don't want to do something, just don't. And once I realized that in my life, I was able to write an ebook. I was able to go after several different opportunities. I was able to be on point with my fitness. I was able to learn. I was able to take up dance classes again. I was, I got more inspiration to do things. Like, I was, pouring back into myself. Sorry, I was like screaming and hollering with all my nephews and nieces, and so my voice is like gone now, just like from playing with them for 5 days straight. But so, and screaming, like there's a whatever. Anyway, so I'll tell you guys about that later. So I hope that, not that I'm like anyone to be giving anyone permission to do anything, but like you may have needed to hear this, and I'm giving you permission to say no. Like sometimes like we need someone else to say it, so that way it's like, okay, we heard it, it's a sign from God, and it's not like us, even though you can tell yourself that. And it's amazing how much life opens up. And it's sad because you would think that when you pour into people, they're automatically going to pour into you. And I've learned the hard way that it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You can give out as much as you want, right? But only give out when you don't expect anything back. Let me say it again. Give out, be there for people, do gestures, do favors, and just do it from, and this is a lot easier when you do it from a full cup, from an overflow, right? From overflow. Like when you are so filled up of joy and peace and, you know, tranquility and focus and concentration, when you're giving out gifts and giving out blessings and giving out favors and all that stuff, you don't even notice it because your cup is so full that like you're focused on your full cup, right? So it might be time for you to take a couple steps back, start saying no, and pour back into yourself. And what I've also learned is that when you say no, you truly, truly do learn who is actually like team Ciana, right? Or team Haley, who was on the live earlier, or Hallie, right? You learn who's team you. So a lot of times that's a hard place to end up, because you're like, dang, you may only end up with 2 people, 3 people. But I'm telling you, you'd rather have those 2 or 3 people that you know are gonna hold you down, rather than just give to 10, 15, 20 people that are just sucking you dry, sucking you of your energy, right? And all of a sudden, like when you drop hints like, oh, well, there's, you know, a passion I want to start, or there's something I want to go after. If they're not jumping up and down, and how can I help? What can I do? Then they're not for you, especially when you know that you're like that for other people. So I'm here to say, for December 1st, you might want to take December 1st to do some cleanup and to start learning to say no. And especially when it's something that you already maybe plan to do something for yourself, and then now someone's trying to suck up your, especially when you have good energy. When you have good energy, people that are like vibrating on a low, like just low energy, negative mood all the time, they will try to latch onto you. And because you're a nice, kind person, you're going to allow it. And I heard this saying one time, and I thought it was so good. It's, if you expect less, so if you expect less, right? In actual reality, you're going to get even less. So if you're like if you're already letting people go below your boundary, you're going to actually get even less than that. And it's so true. So you notice, like sometimes like you'll look from afar and just say, oh, you know, that person's not really the kindest person, but they always like seem to get what, that person's kind of mean, but like they kind of always get what they want. That's because sometimes it can be perceived as that, but they're just setting boundaries. So you might want to start a business, you know, whatever it is, you're getting on your health and wellness journey, and really digging in that for you, what's best for you, right? But you don't have time or the energy. Really, what I'm coming to find out when people say that they don't have the time, what they're really saying is they don't have the energy to put into it. And then you wanna really dig into that. and say, well, why? Why don't I have the energy? Like, why don't I have the time? Okay, I actually could cut that out, but why don't I have the energy for it? It's because your life force energy, like we all have, like when we wake up in the morning, we have like willpower chips or willpower coins, right? Or source energy coins. And our energy can only go to so many different things, right? If you deplete all that to one source, you don't have anything left in the tank for yourself for that day. So if you're getting on the phone with people, they're gossiping, they're sucking up your time about the same issue, right? The same issue, like about a guy, about a work issue, you know. And this is, I have to admit, 10, 15 years ago, I was that person. I would call some of my coworkers sometimes, and a lot of us were district managers, and so we had like really long commutes to our stores. And I remember I would just call and vent, and me and this person, we were kind of trauma bonding because we both talked about how much we hated our job. And it's like all that energy that I was putting out, complaining about how much I hated my job, I could have been listening to a podcast on how to start my own business, or you know, that hour and a half commute, sometimes 2-hour commute each way in LA, which is crazy. That 4 hours of my life, I could have been like on calls, like with mentors, trying to figure out, okay, how do I start a business, or how do I find my passion, or, you know, like it could have been used for something else. But I would literally go through, I remember there was a time period where I would go through my phone and see who I could like trauma bond with about hating our jobs. And like, I could have been connecting with God during that time. I could have been learning more about spirituality. I could have been learning more about makeup, like just anything to enhance me, right? So let's not lie, you know, sometimes we've been that energy sucker for other people too. So it's just time to wake up, and it's time to, and again, December 1st is a perfect month to do it. Everybody's kind of busy anyway, but then there also might be some people that are kind of like popping back up, you know, during the holiday season, that, you know, might want to try to get a gift, to like be in your good graces for a month so that way they get a gift. So just, it's okay. You could say no, and you might lose some friends. And I wish 10 years ago someone would have told me that and really explained that to me, and I would have been so much more at peace, rather than trying to hold on to friendships and be like 100% there, and then be so depleted, like just feel heavy, depleted, energyless when I would lay down at night. And that's not normal. That is an indicator that you need to be pruning some things out, cutting some things out. And really, to be honest, like people, it kind of shows the level of respect that people have for you. And you kind of have to like take ownership in that too. Like if people know that they can just suck you dry, like that is an indicator of the way that the level of respect that they have for you. And you might have to look in the mirror and say, you know what, I'm a doormat, you know, or, oh, I don't really have boundaries, or, you know, no, I don't really value myself, or I don't really think I'm like worthy of like pouring into myself. And like, why? You know, now I need to dig into that. So there's just different things that you need to do, but you need your life force energy. You need your time back. So I'm here to tell you, if you've been struggling with saying no to somebody, you can say no, okay? You can say no in a very calm, happy, peaceful way too. Like it doesn't have to be like, no, I'm trying to get my life together, I'm always doing this shit for everybody else. No. Like, just sit back in your grace, and if there's something that you're, you know, invited to, and maybe it's something that you kind of want to go to, but you're kind of like, you would care either way if you didn't know about it, like, don't go, and stay home and study. Open up, you know, take a course like on how to start a business, take a course on your fitness, you know, research doctors that can help you out with your hormone levels. Like, whatever you need to do with your health, your spirituality, your mental health, your financial health, like, take the time to go after those things. And like, for example, what did I say no to recently that was kind of like, oh, that's interesting? Like, I'm sure that they were like, oh no, that's interesting. I would say it was, it was just like it was just an event where like, you just go and like check out products and stuff. And like, it's cool, right? But like, I really like needed to do stuff like for my life coaching. So I just was like, you know what? I could go and then like, I'll be entertaining the person I'm with. But like, I need to really like focus on like my life coaching and like not go. And so I just was kindly like, yeah, you know, I'm going to have to sit this one out, but you know, catch you the next time. And you know, it sucks. Oh, I don't have anyone to go with, or I'm sure you'll find somebody, right? So it's like, and usually when 10 years ago, I would have been like, well, I don't have anyone to go with, and you know, the only other person I have to go with is like drama, and I'm not drama, and like, I would just like allow people to like take take up my energy. So it's like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, just be okay with standing in your power and saying, no, you know what? Like, I'm choosing myself. And if you notice that they kind of, oh my God, I kind of like low-key have a story. I have a story. So, how can I say this without like giving away too much? Like, okay. So there was someone that approached me that wanted me to help them out with an event. And I was like, sure, no problem. We talked about what the agreement was going to be with me helping them out with this event. It's like, okay, cool. They're like, cool. As time went on, they're like, well, can you also do this? And I was like, oh, okay, sure. Yeah, no problem. Also, can you take care of this? And I was like, oh, you know, no problem. I got it. And then like, I'm not even kidding. Like 6 times later, they were like, oh, can you do this? And it was going to take like, it was like something that you really like need to, and by the way, I was doing this for free. Like I wasn't getting paid for it. It was just kind of like an exchange. Like they had did something for us, for like the charity I work for. And then, so I had to decline, and I was super kind about it. I was like, you know, I really like want to help this person out as much as I can for their event. But like, I literally have like 7 other things that I'm already signed on to. And I've already like taken up my, like sucked up my extra time that I should have been using for other things to pour into this event. But I was like, I was okay with that. I was like, you know what? It's fine. Like, it's fine. I was giving this person my contacts. I was giving this person like my expert advice with certain things. Like I was just all for free, right? Because, you know, again, it was like an exchange, but the exchange started to turn into like not an exchange equally. Like it turned into like, okay, like the only way I can explain it is like, without saying too much, is like, if something costs $5, like I had $5, they had $5, right? But now, like, so that's an exchange, even exchange. But like, what they were asking was like on the level of like $100, right? So it turned into like lopsided. Like it turned into not an equal exchange of energy, of a commitment. So I had to decline. I said, hey, you know, I got this going, and I would love to do more, but I just literally can't. And I'm gonna go ahead and reference you, and you know, you can go ahead and some, you know, this is the thing. Let me give you some background too. in LA, it takes a long time to like build up your contacts, right? Like just meeting people in LA, going to events, you know, networking and all that stuff. So people actually charge like thousands of dollars for contacts. And I was like, you know what? I see myself in this person. Like, I'm just going to give anything I can help with, like as far as just like giving a number, I'm just going to do it. So I did that. And then they still wanted more. So I just was like, you know what? This is where I have to like shut the barrier. And I had to also look at myself and say, you know what? I probably should have like shut it down after the 6th time, right? Like after the 2nd time that they did it, it shouldn't have even went to 6 times of like keep asking me for stuff. So I had to look at myself and say, okay, you know, I'm still on my journey with like setting boundaries. So it's and then now that person haven't talked to that person ever since. So what's interesting is everything was fine. The person was calling every other day, needing things, wanting things, and it was fine. But then all of a sudden I put a boundary up and they're just ghost. So it just goes to show, like, you don't really know, right? Like, were they really there the whole time just to suck on your energy, suck on your skills, suck on your contacts, suck on who you're connected to? So, like, I haven't talked to this person, so I don't. You saying no when you put up a boundary, it's very telling. Instead of saying, oh my God, you know what? Thank you so much. What can you do? Because I actually said what I could do. I said I could do X. I could commit 100% to X, Y, and Z. Anything outside of that, I just can't do. And so you would think that somebody would take what you can do, but no, it's their way. They're going to keep sucking. And now they know that you're not an open portal for sucking on. They're on, you know, they moved on. So it's just very interesting how you really learn how and why people are like in your life, whether they're an associate, a work associate, you know, even family members do this kind of stuff. And you know what? I just was like, even better, because I have more time to work on my coaching. Like, you know, this person just disappeared. So I hope that example just is there for you to tell yourself and say, look, it doesn't matter if, oh, well, now what are they going to do? Well, I already did this for them, so they just get to take my stuff and leave. It doesn't matter, because I was already pouring from an overflow in that department of my life. I know what it's like when you're trying to put on an event. I know the stress level, all that stuff, right? So because I have had some experience in this area, I was like, it didn't take my energy away. So I was happy to pour into somebody else from my overflow. So it doesn't matter if like I never talk to the person again. Like, I hope they have a beautiful event, right? I hope they use the contacts and had an amazing event. It doesn't do anything to me either way, right? So that's what I have to say. Like, just check into the season of your life headed into 2024 of giving yourself some serious permission to start to say no, to start to put boundaries up, to start to, you know, and this is another thing too, you don't have to give like this elaborate reason either. Like, you really don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't, like, because sometimes that can like hold us back to, well, what am I going to say? There's been times where I've told people no, where I've literally just said, oh, I'm not available this weekend. I hope you have a beautiful weekend. Boom. I'm actually not going to be able to attend. Have a beautiful weekend. Not like, oh my gosh, you know, there was a bird that died and I had to like save it, like try to revive it. And I come up with like some weird excuse. You don't have to do that. You just literally could say, just shut it down flat. That's it. You don't have to give people like even more of your power by, like, you're not beholden to anybody, right? You're not beholden to anybody. Of course, like, I'm not talking about, you know, different dynamics like a husband and wife and stuff like that. I'm talking about like just in general, you're not beholden to anybody. So if you are feeling like, oh, I'm just going to do it because I don't want to explain myself out of it, you're allowed to just say, I'm going to have to skip it this weekend. Hope you have a beautiful time. And it does, sometimes some people accept that if they're mature, very mature. Like people have told me that, and I'm like, perfect, I get it. Like, I don't know what they got going on. It's none of my business, and I don't really care anyway because I'm focused on what I got going on. But if they're like sucking on you, like, well, why? Well, what's going on? Well, tell me, like, and what you have to do is literally you just want to stay on the couch at home and read a book. Like, you don't have to explain anything to anybody. So that's, you know, what I have to say with that. And, you know, if I hadn't stopped saying no, I wouldn't even be going to this like really cool event that I'm going to right now. Because I was able to pour into myself. I was able to pour into my skills. I was able to pour into, you know, my health, my fitness, my wellness, my meditations, my, you know, live richly, deeply, and in the moment with, like, you know, people that I love very much, right? Like, I was able to activate things in myself. And then now they're like, I'm seeing different things manifest in my life because I poured into myself, right? So I'm going to this event now because I said no. And it's a really cool event that I'm really excited about. And it's because I literally said no to other things, other times, other moments, right? So you never know what no is going to bring you to. And a no is like, it actually puts a lot of power into your hand. Like, it literally once you start saying no, you actually like develop this muscle that makes you feel really, really like confident about yourself. Excuse me. Really confident. Because you're like, I don't care what's coming at me. I don't care. Like, I have a goal that I'm trying to achieve, and I'm not letting nothing stop me, right? Now, of course, there's things that I have definitely bended for because it was to my favor, right? So for example, I love the children in my family so much. I'm manifesting my own one day, so pray for me, you know, manifesting a husband and my own children. But for now, I have my nieces and my nephews, and I'm obsessed with all of them. So during Thanksgiving week, I could have said, like, I need to go and like go to an office space and work. But I just like poured all my energy into, my nieces and my nephews, right? Like, because it was going to be pouring into me too. Like, spending time with the children in my family was going to be activating so much love and energy in me that I could put some other things on the side for that, right? So typically during a holiday season, if it was just like, you know, just to keep going to events and stuff like that, like I would say no. But like, so it just, I'm not saying don't start saying no to everything, but it needs to be pouring, especially during this season of your life. If you're someone that's like really trying to transform your life, really trying to stick to goals, and you're really struggling with it, it's time to start saying no to people so you can really dig into sticking to your goals and why you don't stick to your goals and why it is just so difficult to like achieve things that you want to achieve. And sometimes it's just as easy as chunking something out, time or the patience to chunk down a goal because you're so busy doing stuff for everybody else. So you don't have time to sit down and put a big white sheet of paper on the ground and just sit and just do a brain dump, right? You don't even have time to do something like that because you're doing all these other things, oh, can you pick me up here? Can you go run and get this for me? Can you actually look this up for me? I don't know how to do it. Can you? Someone actually did that to me, and I was like, dang it, that was my fault, because I said yes. Hit me up about something, and I'm like, I so bad wanted to be like, just Google it, but then I just Googled it and sent it to him, and I'm like, wow, that person actually just put me to work. That person just actually put me to work. Excuse me. I need like hot tea or something. So, literally, my voice feels like, it feels like scratchy. Like I need, yeah, like I need like a hot tea. But literally, I was like, wow, I just got played. Because it's like, I literally, you know, I Googled something, I read a couple articles, I clicked a little bit deeper, you know, and I just was like, dang it, they just took up 20 minutes, you know, well, it didn't take that long. It was like maybe 13 minutes of my time. But what it did was it stopped my momentum in something else that I was doing. Yeah, I'm okay. No, I was just, going to my point with my nieces and nephews, I was just like screaming with them and, you know, at the park with them and yelling and come down here and go on the slide. And I think just all the yelling and like all that, I don't know, it just like kind of took away my voice. So, so yeah, that is the reality of what happens when you allow people to suck up your time, suck up your energy, and suck up your willpower. So just don't do it. Just don't do it anymore. And watch how much life starts to unfold. Watch how much life starts working in your favor. Watch how much people start to bend to you. Actually, oh my God, this is a good one. So when you start putting up boundaries, what ends up happening is, people start like going around you and being like, oh, are you available for this? If you're not, it's totally fine. I just wanted to throw it out. Can you check your schedule and see if it's going to work? If it's not, totally fine. I'll let you know about the next one. People start doing stuff like that because you put up a boundary. Okay? So definitely make sure to click some of the links in my description if you want to find me on Instagram, if you want to find me on TikTok. I'm on all the social media platforms. Things that I use that I love: RYZE mushroom coffee. I use INNO SUPPS for great supplements. I also have an ebook. It's great. It's super easy, straight to the point. It's what I do to stay fit and healthy. It's not science. It's just consistency and discipline. And I talk to you on how to do that in the book. All the workouts that I do to keep lean, how I eat, all that's in the book. So definitely make sure to get that. And also Hallie, are you still on? I wish I could see the names of like who was on. If you're still on, maybe it's Marquise. But either way, definitely make sure to tap in. And oh, okay, Marquise. Oh, okay, Hallie and Marquise actually. Hallie. I don't know why I want to say Hallie. I don't know why. It's clearly Hallie. Did you get a chance to pop open the book? And if you did, or it's really, you know what it really is? It's really more of a guide. It's just like a quick guide. Definitely Marquise and Hallie, if you can, Hallie, if, you know what? I'm going to get a rubber band, and every time I say Hallie, I'm just going to go like this. But if you both can leave me a review, that would be awesome. On my site, that would be beautiful. That would really, really help me out. And also for people that are watching this on the replay, make sure to subscribe, because I am going to be coming out with my signature coaching program, and I don't want you to miss it when I announce when it's going to happen. when I'm going to be releasing the information about my coaching. Okay? So that's funny. Change the No, I'm gonna get it right. I'm gonna get it right. I'm gonna get it right. I love it. But you know what's so funny too, because I always get annoyed when people butcher my name, because people will be like Ciana, and I'm like, so I try to like hold myself to a standard if I get someone's name wrong. So yes, definitely thanks for tapping in with me. I'm about to pull up to this event, and I will probably do I might even go live. I never really go live on YouTube. Oh, you know why I don't really go live on YouTube when I go to events? Because they usually have music playing in the background, and then like YouTube flags it as copywriting. So it sucks because I can't like go live at like some of the events I go to. So that's annoying, but I might be able to go live. I'm able to go live, I notice, on TikTok live. They never flag any music playing in the background. So if you're interested, I might go live. You can check me out on TikTok at CianaSingh. So yeah, definitely tap in, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.